Hey everybody, it is Habs Absolutely Hockey here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. So today I'm going to be discussing 5 targets that I think the Montreal Canadiens should go for in free agent targets that they should sign. So I'm going to be basing it off needs of what they need and based off fit and realistic what I feel like Montreal could target that I think that Montreal would improve and get better off of. You're not going for guys like it could be based off the short term, the medium term, and the long term. So yeah, let's get to it. So the first guy of the Montreal Canadiens going after that I think makes a lot of sense for the Montreal Canadiens that they need is size and grit. So I think the Montreal Canadiens should go after and sign Mason Marchment. I have Mason Marchment in this position. So Mason Marchment is carving out his own role as an aggressive forward who is strong enough to make life miserable for opponents. At 6'5", he is more than willing to use his body at both ends of the ice. He is notorious for shift disturbance, but can at times cross the line in the heat of a battle on the ice. Can take penalties, like bad penalties, that cost his team from time to time. His point production can be rather shaky too. So, if you look at Mason Marchment, he is basically a 6'5" winger. He can play on the left wing and right wing, but mostly on the left wing. I think he would be perfect for a guy like Ivan Demidov on the second line to add more size, more physicality. And I honestly think that you're not getting Mason Marchment to like basically play on the first line or play on the first power play. You're getting Mason Marchment to basically go out there and make feints difficult, make feints tough, make feints hard to play against, brings in physicality and brings in nastiness. You're getting a guy that can basically take penalties, but also like just make feints difficult, make life difficult for you, and make you work for every ounces. He is a guy that I feel like could fit well on the second or third line, but mostly on the second line. That could fit amazingly with Demidov. He has scoring touches. He could score. And he also is a guy that can lay hits and fight if need to. He's definitely a guy I feel like that Montreal needs in their system more and needs a guy like Mason Marchment. He's one of the big targets I would go for if I was the Montreal Canadiens. So that's why I feel like number one priority, go for Mason Marchment. Number 2, I think the Montreal Canadiens should go after Jacob Trouba. So the scouting report for Jacob Trouba is: Jacob Trouba is a big, strong, and physical defenseman who is more than willing to step up and level an opponent, sometimes pushing the limits of what is legal. He is aggressive and tough, but also skates well and has a booming point shot that is a weapon on the power play. Has a good offensive smarts. Must make sure he picks the right spots to step up and hit opponents, since he can get caught out of position. That is a guy, and he's also a right shot defenseman, which is perfect for the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal Canadiens need a right shot defenseman that can play on the top four. I think Jacob Trouba makes a lot of sense for the Montreal Canadiens because he brings an element that not a lot of people on our team has on defense. He brings physicality. He can be a bit nasty. He's a guy that has size. He's 6'3". He's 212 pounds. He's one of those guys that I believe the Montreal Canadiens could go after. It would be a very good fit on the second right shot defenseman to play with Lane Hudson. I think it makes a lot of sense because he could also play in the penalty kill. I think he could play on the second power play, or he probably won't play on the second power play, but I feel a power play if he plays in Montreal. I do expect him to play more on the penalty kill, a guy who can kill penalties, a guy who can make things tougher and difficult for you in the back end. That will make you work harder. He's another defenseman. He's a white shot defenseman, which is important. You need guys like that on your team, and it's hard to find people in that position. Would I pay a lot for him? Like, would I overpay the money in the signing? No. If the right price is right and he's willing to go to Montreal, I think it would be a fantastic fit for the Montreal Canadiens as he brings a lot of elements to this team. I think he's a good fit. I think he would fit well with Hudson. He would be able to be the guy that Montreal needs. Montreal needs guys like him. And I think he would just do a lot for the team. If the price is right, do it. Don't go like being bonkers and offering a lot of money. That will be a bad contract. But the only issue is with this guy is that he wants, what I heard was apparently he wants to stay up west. But if he wants to stay up east, if he wants to go up east and give it another chance, I think Montreal gives him that chance to go for a cup run in a few years. I think he would be a good fit for the young guys, a great leader, and he brings a lot to the room. So yeah, Jacob Trouba is number 2 for me. I think we need to go for a right shot defenseman. I think Montreal needs a right shot defenseman. It's definitely a need. Next on my list is Kevin Stenlund. He is more of a third, fourth line center. Probably could play on 4C. Would be a very good 4C for the Montreal Canadiens. So, Kevin Stenlund on the scouting report is Kevin Stenlund has tremendous size for the center position, plus a sound two-way mentality. Also handles the puck with aplomb and usually makes the right play at the right time. Is extremely low maintenance, uses his size well, must improve his skating ability in order to thrive as a big two-way force. Also, the jury is still out on his long-range scoring upside, but he has a very good potential to be a very good 4C, and he showed really good for Utah. He played for Utah the last past season. He won a cup with Florida like 2 seasons ago. In 2023-24 and 2024 Cup ride, he won a Cup of Dub. He's physical, has size, and I feel like he's a good shutdown guy who could play on the 4th line if you need to. He shoots right, which I think Montreal has a lot of that. Even though they have a lot of that, I think he would be a very good fit for the Montreal Canadiens. He adds what they need, and he could probably sign for 1 to 2 years, most likely 1 year, to be that guy if other guys in the system are not ready yet. So that's why I have Kevin Stenlund being a good fit for the Montreal Canadiens, as I think he would fit well on the second penalty kill. He could kill penalties as well, which is something that Montreal needs. It is one of those guys I believe Montreal could go after, and I think they should. Like, if the price is right, sure, pay for it. But if it's expensive and like other teams are going to offer more and he wants to go after a big money, don't do it. Back away. So that's why I have him number 3. I think he would be a good fit for the Montreal Canadiens on the 4th center. Next person is, you guys are going to be shocked about this one that I have number 4. This will surprise you. So it is Claude Giroux. Claude Giroux, we already know how he is. You guys, a lot of people know who he is. Claude Giroux. He could play on the center and he could play on the wing without a major offensive drop-off. So has tremendous creativity and playmaking skills, though there are times when he would be better off shooting than passing. Dangerous on the power play. He is adroit at putting the puck of teammates' sticks, not terminates, for good scoring opportunities. It's not easy to knock off the puck, despite a relatively small frame. He isn't an overly big guy, but he has a lot of experience and he's a good leader in the locker room. He could be a good 2C for now until Michael Hayes or somebody comes in for Michael Hayes' placeholder. And he still has pretty good numbers for the Ottawa Senators. He played for Ottawa the last 4 years. Played for Philly most of his career. He's a good leader in the locker room. He's a guy that I feel like would be a good mentorship for Lane Hudson, not for Demidov, and I think he would explode with him on the team. Not fully, but like somebody who he can learn from Demidov. I think it's a good fit due to the fact that I think he could be a good 2C. A guy that, and he grew up as a Montreal fan, by the way, if you guys did not know that. That's a fact. So, would I pay him the big bucks? No. I would definitely not pay him the big bucks. But I would pay him somewhere around $3 million to possibly $4 million for Claude Giroux. to play on the 2Cs. He's getting up there in age, 38 years old. I wouldn't go out there and just pay him like, I would pay him close to Tavares money. Like, he's the type of guy that I think would benefit on a 2C level or 3C level. But I feel like 2C would be perfect. And he could also play on the wing if need to. So yeah, definitely I would. I know he's doesn't say on this list that he's mainly a center, but he has played center before. And it does say on another page that he can play center. So yeah. That's why I put him at number 4. I don't think it's likely, but I could see Montreal maybe going out of him if they need somebody short term. Since there was rumors of them going for Trocheck. So I think that would be a good. So yeah. Number 4 would be Kojiru. Number 5 and my final one on this list is not Eli Tovanev. Oops, wait a second. Brandon Duhaime. Brandon Duhaime is a good one. A good one that I think Montreal should go after for a 4th line role. So, the scouting report for Brandon Duhaime is the big rambunctious forward, can fly on skates, and he will hit anyone in an opponent's jersey, making him a ferocious forechecker. More than just a physical presence, his speed and hands gives him significant offensive skills that opponents cannot ignore. He is a winner. He's a left winger, but he is basically 6'2", over 200 pounds. He could be a guy that could bring energy, forecheck, and be a guy that can make your team a lot better on the 4th line, add more size to your team. He's a guy that I could put on the 4th line if need to. Right wing, left wing. He could play on any other side, and he could be versatile at times. He's one of those guys that I believe that could be a fit for the Montreal Canadiens due to for a cheap option, $1.5 to $2 million, maybe $2.5. I think he would be a very cheap option for the Montreal Canadiens for 1 year. I think he would be a good fit for Montreal, as even though he does take a lot of penalties if you look at the penalty minutes, but he could also hit, which is good. Duhaime is one of those guys who brings energy to your room. He brings the energy up, and somebody you really need. He has 159 hits this year. That's a lot. 57 block shots. And he's one of those guys that I feel like, not the biggest name out there, not the prettiest name, but a guy I feel like Montreal could go after, be a sneaky signing if you're looking for a guy that could be bottom 6 and on the 4th line. Well, so yeah, that's why I put Duhaime number 5. In honorable mentions, guys, I have 2 honorable mentions. I have Eli Tolvanen. So let's get to the honorable mentions. So Eli Tolvanen was one of those guys that is on my honorable mentions. So he has a very good shot. So but I'm gonna look at the scouting reports. He is short. He is 5'10", but he had 187 hits this year. And he had 36 points in basically 36 points in 78 games. But he is a guy he can play big for his height. So his scouting report is: the shifty, elusive forward has great hands, excellent offensive instincts, and a terrific wrist shot that could keep him in the NHL for years. He knows how to get into dangerous scoring areas and can play either wing position. But even though he lacks size, he's the type of guy that could basically make your team better by being physical at times, and also has a very good shot. And he could skate. And he's a good. I think he's a very good. I think he's not 100% the best fit, but he could be a guy that can go in for the Montreal lineup on the 4th line level, and I think that he could be a very good fit for Montreal. But the reason why I put in my honorable mentions was because I don't think he's the top of the top for the Montreal Canadiens that I think they should go after. That is the reason why I put Tolvanen there on honorable mentions. I'm not going to talk much about him, but if Montreal gets him, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But I think Montreal needs more size, so that's the reason why he's not on my top priority. So next one is the last guy on my honorable list is Anthony Mantha. He had 33 goals, 31 assists, 64 points in 61 games. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. Jesus, big boy. Big boy. So his scouting report is he is a big and fast and has an excellent shot and displays supreme hand-eye coordination. Inconsistency and injuries have held him back, but he also needs to improve his play away from the puck in order to make the most of his offensive instincts. He had 51 even strength points this year. And he's one of those guys, if I'm looking at him and I'm looking at like his stats and all that, he could score. He could score. Even though injuries are a bit of a concern, that's the reason why I put him in the honorable mentions. Injuries are a bit of a concern in the last long seasons. He has not had a full season in a long time. This was his first time he had like 81 games. Almost a full season this year. And he played very good for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Somebody who legit can score. Somebody who can go in front of the net. Somebody who, even though he doesn't have the overly size. Like, he has size, but like, he doesn't like use it that properly. That's what I heard from people. But he could be a guy for short term, if we need a guy like him. And I think he could I think he could do something for us. But if you're gonna for a lot of money, no, you do not go for him. You do not pay big bucks for him. But a guy who can make 3 to 4 million or maybe 5 at max, most, go for it. If it's like a year or two, go for it. But other than that, don't back away. Back away from that if it's anything. So, let's go on my 5 again. So number 1, Mason Management. A 212 pound, 6'5", power winner who can make hits and make plays. Number 2, Jacob Trouba. 6'3", 212 pounds, right shot defenseman. Could be a compliment, please, for on the right shot, short term for Hudson. Number 3, Kevin Stenlund. A guy who could be a 4th center and be a guy that can kill penalties and be physical. And a shutdown guy, and a shutdown wall. And hard to play against. Number 4, Claude Giroux. A 2C short option for the Montreal Canadiens for about another year until H comes. And number 5, Brandon Duhaime. A guy who can basically be a force on the 4th line and has size and isn't afraid to lay hits. An honorable mention, Anthony Mantha and Eli Tolvanen. Oops, sorry guys. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, hit the notifications. I want to see your comments down below. Who do you think the Montreal Canadiens should go after in free agency? I would want to hear it. I want to hear it down below. And I will be making more videos because I want to make more videos for you guys. Because I know I've been very inconsistent. I was busy. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I know that. But I promise I'm trying. I'm going to try to be more active. I know I say that, but like it doesn't happen. But I will try to be. And always, we'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.